Big Savage in the building. Grind don't stop unless it kill me. You already know. Welcome to the Savage Nation. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't today. We got CoffeeZilla. Feel me? Say this Logan Paul scam isn't over. So Logan Paul out here scamming people. You feel me? I wonder where. But we gonna check it out because man, I'm telling you, these dudes, they seem like they find a way and then they always get tricky with it. Like if you got on the right way, just keep it that way, bro. It ain't too hard. It ain't too hard. You get all the clout, so let's see. Do they always go too far? Did Logan Paul really scam everybody? What y'all think, bro? Hit that comment section below.
6 months ago, I investigated CryptoZoo, a scam created by Logan Paul and a team of criminals, and a dude named Jeff, which ultimately resulted in millions of dollars being stolen from fans. I was threatened with a lawsuit for exposing it, but ultimately, Logan Paul decided to thank me instead for his public undressing and announced a $1.8 million refund to
threatened with the lawsuit. What they send them, a cease and desist? They probably ain't really was gonna sue him. They probably just trying to scare him, bro.
The victims. Now, I thought that was a great ending to the story. But I also said this. I'll follow up in the future to make sure that he actually gives that money away. And that's why we're here today. It's been 6 months, so here's a follow-up. Logan Paul has not paid back his victims. He hasn't talked about it since he first announced he was going to pay them back. And what's worst of all, he doesn't seem to have a plan in place to refund anyone. How do I know that? Well, because I've been asking Logan for that plan to refund people the entire time.
I mean, I don't know. You're gonna have to explain why is this a scam, CoffeeZilla? Because you know, CryptoZoo, off the back, it already sound like something unstable, something new, off the ground project that could fail. So if you put something into that, you should already know like, this might be one of those. So I wouldn't be holding on to it too tight if you thought you was getting something in return from this.
I'm behind the scenes in messages like these. Quote, hey Logan, following up on the zoo refunds, when should people expect those? It's been about a month. And then a month later, following up again. People are wondering what's going on. Almost been 2 months. Very frustrating for victims to get promises and then see nothing and get zero communication. And then later, hey Logan, following up for a third time, it's been over 5 months since you promised to refund the victims of CryptoZoo over $3 million. I meant to say $1.8 million there. The price of crypto changed a lot, so what this buyback was going to be was constantly changing. I just misspoke there. Either way, my point was this, quote, you haven't contacted any of them, nor explained why you haven't done what you said you'd do. Meanwhile, you got public credit for promising to do this. And
yeah, the only part that's really fucking over Logan in this situation is he done went out and said he was gonna refund everybody and all that. If he would have never said nothing and kept ignoring it, he might have could have, been cool and got away.
All of this, Logan didn't respond to, which is odd since he was such a fan of me reaching out to him personally.
Right.
Instead of making things public.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me personally, not my manager Jeff, who is not me, Steven.
Well, I did reach out to you, and I got no response. In fact, the only response I got came on my 4th attempt to reach Logan, but this one came from his criminal defense lawyers. A guy named Jeffrey Neiman emailed me after my 4th attempt saying, Steven, see inserted on behalf of Logan Paul. Now, to be honest, I had no idea who Logan Paul was until I researched the lawyer and learned that he, quote, regularly defends individuals and corporations in white-collar criminal litigations. And that's when I realized, oh, that Logan Paul. Why didn't you just say you defended alleged white-collar criminals? Would have saved me a Google search. So I opened up the letter and it read, we represent Logan Paul. Mr. Paul has informed us of your outreach about the status of the CryptoZoo buybacks. Mr. Paul remains committed to this process. We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal. In the meantime, please direct to our attention any further inquiries to Mr. Paul. Thank you for your patience.
But that's what he was doing the whole time, bro. Why Logan ain't just hit him back? See, nah, they on that bullshit. I see what you're talking about, Cough. I see what you're talking about. They on that bullshit. Hold on. That's it though. But it's not looking good.
Like a good step in the right direction to you. At least we got a response on behalf of Logan. But when I read their response carefully, I realized things were actually worse than I thought. Because two things are absent from this statement. One, a timeline for refunds, and two, a plan for refunds. I mean, you have this abominable statement which says, we are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal.
So y'all ain't even did it, bruh. All this time ain't got none of the money back, ain't made no moves, like they just sitting on it, huh?
So you're still at the whiteboard then?
Right.
Guys, this is a statement you say when you have no plan or you're stalling, right? You say, we're evaluating the best options. I mean, that's where Logan was back in January. He was evaluating. Am I supposed to believe 6 months later, you guys haven't figured this out? You've gathered all the boys in the office, brainstorming every single day. How do we refund people? And you don't know? I mean, listen, he had more of a plan, Logan did, back in January. I'm not even sure what there is to even still figure out, because way back then, January 16th, he said, I've committed more than 1.8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed. Players will be able to burn their base eggs and base animals for their mint price. I mean, there it is. That's the plan. Pay a blockchain dev to code that up and pay the victims their money. That's it. But
that's a fact. That's a fact. That's why I said they backpedaling now, bro. He done let too much time pass, and you can really tell what they on right now, which is sad. Which is sad, because when you got this much influence, you know, at the drop of the dime, there's so many, you know, innocent people ready to move in your direction, and you know, all it takes is the wrong steer, and you pretty much fucked over a lot of people's life, bro. Sad.
But we see absolutely no sign of that, and it's not for a lack of Logan having the cash. He's on a world tour for Prime right now, bragging about how much money his drink company is making.
In January of this year, we did 45 million.
Oh, wow. Only in January?
Yeah.
Wow, 45 million is a good month. Also, January happens to be the same month Logan promised those cryptos. So there's no good explanation for why Logan hasn't refunded his victims yet, because he had a plan back in January, he had the money. But there's even less of a good explanation for why he hasn't explained himself for the delay to either me privately or to the victims publicly, who are just waiting around for months with no word about the status of their promised refund.
They got a whole refund server on Discord trying to get that bread back, boy. Dang.
Now, eventually, I do believe Logan will address this. I think he has to. And when he does, I think he'll probably point to a lawsuit that he's in for the reason he couldn't speak. He had to be silent. Only he's tried this before, and it didn't make a lot of sense then either.
I had to rely on my team. I crumbled internally, and the advice was, well...
Hold on. Look at that boy's face, though. As he talking, he red as an apple. I ain't even heard what he said yet. I already know he lying, bro. I already know it.
Actual legal process was going on because of criminal investigation taking place that CoffeeZilla highlighted in his series. I had to stay silent. And for a year, I'm hounding Jeff. How do we make this right?
All right, let's get this straight. Logan was dying to make CryptoZoo right the first time, but was legally required to be silent until a YouTuber talked about it?
Bullshit! Bullshit. Shout out to Easy.
Did the judge magically unseal his lips when my video dropped? I'm confused. He's not prevented from explaining himself, and he's certainly not legally prevented from giving people their money back. Even if you want to argue the point that maybe Logan might look more guilty if he promises to pay victims, well, sure, but he already did that, though.
That's a
He
fact.
felt so bad that he was going to refund $1.8 million to the affected people who invested. But actually delivering that promise doesn't add any layer of admission to that guilt. He already said he was responsible. At this point, refunding people is just doing what he said he was going to do from the beginning. No, I
That's a
think
fact.
the real reason Logan hasn't paid, if I had to guess, is just because either he does not want to pay, he cannot be bothered to pay on time, or he's just stalling. All of which are unacceptable.
That's pretty much it, but man, this all new to me. Logan Paul out here scamming. And which one of them options y'all think it is? Don't want to pay, stalling, unable to pay. I think he definitely able to pay. I don't know about the stalling part, because what would you be stalling? And then I think he just don't want to pay, bro. He obviously got the money. He out here talking about this prime shit, you know, in between all this, going on tour and doing all this, yada, yada, yada. It's just sad, bro. You get the fans, you get them all to, you know, help you and invest in one thing. It don't work out, cool. You got to hit them back, bro, especially after promising he was going to hit them back. So it's looking sad. He going to have to get that money back, or I don't know, bro. So the people that, you feel me, got scammed about him should be able to take action, bro. And it shouldn't take no lawsuit or nothing crazy long to, you know, get this action to be took. I mean, ain't all this documented? Got the money, said he was gonna return it, and you know, ain't that enough, bro? Probably not. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Will Jake, talking about Jake. See, think about the other one. Hey, one dirty brother equals both of them dirty. But will Logan ever give the money back that he promised his fans? At this point, who knows? That's why you got to be careful when you're watching these influencers. But that's all I got for you. Shout out to the Savage Nation. Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
I spent the light 10. I got the pipe in. Gon' spin a block, no type in. I just want the face like we Skype in. Can't cut no hoe, they be trifling. This is one night stand.